Hey everyone, today we're tackling something I know a lot of us creatives struggle with. The dreaded client conversation, where they look at your pricing and say, that's too expensive.
Yeah, it's a blow.
We pour our hearts and souls into what we do and then boom, someone just throws that out there.
Yeah, and it's something that Carrington Carruthers sees all the time. You know, she's a photographer who runs a large network of creative professionals.
Yeah, her group is called Creative Sphere Metro West.
She's actually super excited to have Coach Dan Gordon speaking to her group about this very topic. He's a seasoned sales expert.
Wait, hold on. Coach Dan is a creative too.
So he understands the creative process, that passion that goes into every detail. But he also knows that, translating that passion into a price tag, it can be a real struggle.
That's so true. So what's the title of this presentation he's giving to Carrington's network? It sounds amazing already.
It's called What to Say When They Say It's Too Expensive.
Okay, straight to the point. I love it.
And you know what's so fascinating about his approach? He emphasizes that it's not about, pushy tactics or manipulating people into buying. It's about confidently demonstrating the value that you bring to the table.
Yes. So how does he help creatives kind of bridge that gap between their passion and actually having those pricing conversations?
He helps creatives communicate their value effectively. Did you know that the top 3 challenges most creatives face are handling objections, pricing questions, and ghosting after sending proposals?
Ghosting, oh my gosh, it's the worst.
But it totally makes sense.
Yeah, those are tough conversations to have, especially when you're, emotionally invested in your work. So what does Coach Dan actually teach people to do in these situations?
Well, he gives them a framework, a set of strategies that they can use to navigate these tricky conversations. And it all starts with normalizing the objection.
Normalizing the objection, so not getting defensive or arguing.
Exactly. Instead of pushing back, Coach Dan suggests, finding common ground and validating the client's feelings. He uses this really interesting analogy, the sugar aisle.
Okay, I'm picturing myself staring at a wall of sugar.
You're at the grocery store. You're staring at all these different types of sugar. You just want to know the price right. Well, clients often feel that way when it comes to, creative services. They just want that simple price sheet, no strings attached.
I see. So by acknowledging that feeling, we can actually open up the conversation instead of shutting it down.
Exactly. So instead of, immediately launching into this defense of your pricing, you acknowledge their perspective. And you might say something like, I totally get it. That's how I feel about buying sugar. But this is a bit different. May I explain?
I love that. May I explain?
Well, right. It shifts the dynamic from confrontation to collaboration. You're not arguing. You're starting a dialogue.
Okay, so you've normalized the objection. What's next? How do you actually start talking about the value that you bring to the table?
Well, this is where you position yourself as an expert. You move beyond the price, and you start showcasing that unique value you bring. Carrington is a great example of this. She doesn't just send a generic price sheet. She takes the time to understand each client's brand and offer personalized feedback.
So not just listing features and benefits, but actually having the confidence to say, here's what I think you need to achieve your goals.
Yes, Carrington wasn't afraid to give her professional assessment, even if it meant recommending a less expensive package.
Wow. Okay, so we've normalized the objection, positioned ourselves as experts, shared our professional opinions. What's the final piece of the puzzle here?
Well, this is where Coach Dan introduces this concept of helping clients visualize the consequences of their decisions, both positive and negative.
So not just saying, if you work with me, you'll get beautiful photos.
Yeah.
But also, if you don't invest in professional photography, your brand might not stand out.
You're saying, look, if you go with the cheaper option, you might save money up front, but it could cost you more in the long run.
That's a really effective way to reframe the conversation. You're not just talking about the price of your services. You're talking about the value of their investment.
And that's something creatives often undervalue. They get so caught up in the passion project that they forget that they're running a business.
It's interesting because a lot of creatives feel like they have to choose between their passion and their business. Coach Dan believes that you can be wildly successful and stay true to your artistic vision. That's so important.
That what clients really crave is that human connection. And that's where creatives have such a huge advantage. They can bring that human touch, that emotional intelligence to every project.
And when you believe that about yourself, it changes how you show up in those client conversations. You're not begging for work. You're confidently presenting a solution.
And clients can sense that confidence.
Coach Dan is creating this program specifically for Carrington's network.
Creative Sphere Metro West.
Yeah.
He wants to see these creatives thrive, both personally and professionally.
And Coach Dan gives them the tools and strategies. How to articulate their value proposition, how to anticipate objections, and how to confidently navigate those pricing conversations.
So to wrap this all up, if you're a creative professional struggling with those "it's too expensive" conversations, definitely check out Coach Dan's program. It might just be the game changer you've been waiting for.
Such great advice. Until next time, keep creating and keep believing in your worth.